Hello there, Year 6s, it's Mr. Conway here. Now this is going to be a how-to guide on how to substitute numbers, and in these examples we're going to be substituting symbols for numbers. But in this first example it asks us to work out the missing values. So in this first example it's triangle multiplied by a triangle equals 36, and underneath we have heart plus a heart equals 65. So our first job to do is to try and discover what does a triangle equal and what very bad love heart, Mr. Conway, and what a love heart equals, okay? So I'm going to start with the triangle. Something multiplied by something equals 36. Because they are both the same symbol, this must be the same number. You've got to be a bit like Sherlock Holmes here. So the same number multiplied by the same number equals 36. So what number multiplied by itself twice is 36? Now, some of you might have already made a connection here, because remember, maths is all about spotting those patterns. I could actually rewrite this as simply triangle squared equals 36. So what number multiplied by itself is 36? Well, there we go, it's 6 squared. So 6 times 6 is 36. And I can just check that, because I'm going to write the 6 underneath the triangle here, and 6 underneath here. 6 times 6 is 36. So therefore, a triangle equals the number 6. Next, let's have a look at our love hearts. Now, this time it's an addition operation. A love heart plus a love heart equals 65. Now then, I think the best way forward for this is to actually draw a bar. Here's my bar. The total of my bar is 65. And two numbers, and again, it's the same symbol, so these numbers must be the same. Two numbers that have the same value equals 65 and added together. So I'm going to split my whole into two equal parts, because there are two which are the same. What are the values of these bars? Now, some of you might have spotted already because it's been drawn as a bar. Well, the operation I need here is division. I'm going to do 65 divided by 2. And I can already see, because I'm doing a bit of prediction here, that I am going to be working in decimals, because I am dividing an odd number by 2. So I'm definitely going to have a decimal at some point. Let's have a go. 6 divided by 2. How many times does 2 go into 6 exactly? It goes in 3 times. How many times does 2 go into 5 exactly? Well, it goes in twice, and I've got 1 left over. So that's why I'm going to put my decimal point in. 0.0. Remember, put my decimal point at the top as well. I'm going to have 1 here. How many times does 2 go into 10? 5 times. So a love heart is 32.5. So I'm going to write that underneath. 32.5 and 32.5. So therefore, a love heart equals 32.5. Right, now I've done my detective work, I can now have a go at these calculations underneath. Triangle times a triangle times a triangle. Well, I know a triangle equals 6. So now I'm going to substitute, that's what our LO is, substitute. And now I'm going to substitute my triangle for the numbers, for the digits. That's going to be 6 times 6 times 6, which you know is also the same as 6 cubed. So what information do I already know? Well, I already know that 6 squared is 36. So I now need to multiply 36 by 6. I'm going to do a little calculation here. Some of you might be able to do this mentally, but I'm just going to put a 3 there by accident. That needs to be a 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 3, 6, 12, 18, plus my 3 is 21. So the answer is 216. Now let's have a look at our heart. I know that 1 heart is the same as 32.5. 32.5 plus 32.5 plus 32.5. So what is my total going to be? There are a couple of ways you could do this. You could simply add them all together, or you could even multiply 32.5 by 3. But I'm going to use some of the facts I already know. I already know that 2 lots of 32.5 is 65. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little calculation just to make sure I've got everything correct. I'm going to do 65 add 32.5. And you'll notice I've got a bit of missing information here. Put that decimal point in. Remember, it's very lazy, never wants to get out of bed. I need to, in my tens column, I should say, is a blank. So that'll be a 0. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 2 is 7. 6 plus 3 is 9. 97.5. So there we are. Now, your next activity is a very fun one to do. Well, I find it very fun. This one is really going to show you the connection now between the algebra lessons we've done so far and today's learning objective. Now this is going to be very simple compared to the calculations we've just been working on, because the answers are already here for me. I don't have to do much working out. It says here, if a star equals 7 and a heart equals 5, what is the value of star plus heart plus heart? Well, let's put in the information that I know. I'm going to substitute these symbols for the numbers it's already told me. So a star is the same as 7. Put my operation in. A heart is the same as 5. So what is the value going to be? 7 plus star plus heart is the same as 7 plus 5 plus 5. 7 plus 5 is 12, plus my 5 is 17. But I was going to show something that might blow your minds. I don't know. It blew my mind when I first saw this. We've used symbols, but what if I said, you know what, guys, we're not going to use these symbols, these images. Actually, we're going to use letters because it's algebra. What if I said instead of a star, I'm going to use the letter A. Well, I'll keep the value the same. And instead of a heart, I'm going to use the letter B. And that's going to stay the same value, which is 5. So instead of star plus heart, it would be A plus B plus B. A plus B plus B. The only difference between star plus heart and A plus B plus B, you must be thinking I'm going mad here talking about stars and hearts and letters. The only difference is they look different. But the value are exactly the same. So A still equals 7. B still equals 5. My answer will therefore still be 17. And what these examples are, this, I'm going to write it on here, is the informal version of algebra, using shapes and symbols. When we start to transfer to letters, we call this formal. So there we are, year sixes. That's how we substitute either symbols in an informal way or letters in a formal way as numbers to solve calculations. So there you are, year sixes. Have fun. It's a really good one to work on, is this lesson. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.